Hey everybody, it's Adam here. Just wanted to jump in front of this episode and say that the recording of this episode was a little bit last minute. I was going to a concert and happened to be nearby Calder. So we did a quick recording in person at like 1 a.m. or something. Both running on very, very little sleep, and we recorded in an echoey living room, and I recorded right beside an open window, so this episode's a bit echoey, a little bit of background noise, but I do think it is a fun one because we were so exhausted and out of it, and because we're talking about The Karate Kid starring Jaden Smith.
You fucking moron!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Screen Share, a movie podcast about...
Can we talk about, like, the political and economic state of the world right now?
What is that? What was that last sound at the end?
Yeah, that was the sound clip you chose to play, man.
Yeah, but I just paused it right before it says the funny
talk
thing.
about the political and economic thing. That was the video you just played.
It was the... It was him saying the political... Can we just talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? But then it played like some meme sound at the end. Hey everybody, welcome back to Screen Share Movie Podcast. This month we're doing originals and remakes, and this is our first remake.
Yeah.
Previously we watched The Karate Kid from 1984. Now we're watching The Karate Kid from 2010.
Whoa.
Isn't that amazing?
How many years between them?
1, 2, 3, 4,
26.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
You get there at some point.
You don't seem interested.
I told you how many it was, so.
This movie had a budget of $40 million.
Wow.
Which is actually a little lower than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think it's because there's some shenanigans with China, but we can get into that later.
Interesting. But the box office sales were $359 million.
Whoa.
Wowee zowie.
Jaden Smith's a movie star?
Yeah.
Put him in everything you got.
Pretty incredible. So it was produced by Will Smith, and thus...
And you can tell.
And Wikipedia says it has been refashioned as a star vehicle for Jaden Smith. So,
what? What does that mean?
I think because this movie was kind of meant to propel Jaden Smith into stardom.
It kind of did.
And then it kind of did. Because along with this movie, he was also featured on Justin Bieber's Never Say Never, which is a song from the soundtrack of this film.
That's the second best part of this movie.
We're going to get into this. Also, I just want to give some context to this episode. I came to Toronto for a little concert.
Who'd you go see?
We saw Black Country New Road.
And what's your home address?
2.
Nice. How was the concert?
The concert was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
And,
did you know any of the songs?
Obviously a bit of... No, I didn't know a single song from the opener or the main band.
Who was the opener?
I bought a t-shirt for them, actually, just because I liked the shirt, and then I was like, I hope they're good, and then they were really good.
What's the t-shirt? Where's the t-shirt?
The t-shirt is a picture of, like, it's like a painting of a cloud that's shaped like a unicorn.
That doesn't tell me what the band is.
Oh, the band, it's like an indie rock band.
I'm asking you what the band is.
Oh, what the name is?
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it. It's like Danevska or something.
Oh, Sky Plays Minecraft.
Oh, Olivia's holding up the shirt in the distance. I cannot
What does
read
it
that
say
from
on it?
here. I don't know. Just bring it over.
Just read it.
It's Calder. You try to read it, actually. Into the mic.
Danishevskaya. Danishevskaya?
That sounds right.
Danishevskaya. But I asked for an extra large, and then they said they didn't have an extra large, and I was like, I could probably fit in a large, but I'd prefer an extra large. Then that's when I found out they didn't have any extra large, so then they gave me a 2XL. So I think it'll be a little big, but they were only accepting cash. I had no cash. They said I could PayPal. I realized to do that, I had to have the PayPal app, which I don't have. And then I was going to e-transfer them, and then Olivia just came over and had cash.
Why couldn't you e-transfer?
No, I could e-transfer, but that was the third option.
PayPal should not be the second option.
I was confused about the PayPal thing because they had a QR code for me to scan, but I think I needed the app. I tried to log in like just on the browser.
Interesting.
Anyway, but the concert was really good. I obviously a bit of recency bias, but
you had pretty good
I think it was
seats,
the best concert I've ever been to.
Looked like you had good seats.
There weren't seats. We were on the floor.
Okay, sorry.
We just got in early.
Shit. Kill me.
We were probably 2 or 3 feet from like the fence that was blocking people, but 2 people passed out during the show.
Did you mosh?
No.
Why not?
I mean, people just kind of jumped and hung out in their spot, but there were 2 separate times within like 15 minutes of each other, probably less, that people passed out and security had to be called and the show had to be stopped.
That's happened, I think, at every recent concert I've been to.
Yeah.
We went to 88 Rising.
Well, because they don't let you bring any drinks in, I think, including water. Like, you should be able to bring water into the show.
You gotta buy that, man.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know if anyone passed out at the 88 Rising when we went to.
No, at least not that we know of.
Yeah.
That was pretty massive, though.
Then I went to see... Oh, what's the band name? Oh...
Finger 11.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, actually, that's it. No, it's like a Canadian band, I think.
Walk Off the Earth?
No, Hillary would know. I went with her. And then we also went to see Baby No Money and Young Gravy.
Nice.
People passed out. I almost got in a fight at that one. Did I ever tell you that?
You told me that you almost got in a fight, but you didn't tell me the details.
So, like, this guy, he was pretty drunk, and he just kept, like, backing into Hillary and, like, stepping on her and, like, bumping into her and stuff. So then I was like, hey, man, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And then she was like, well, not she, but he, and then he was like, what? And then, like, I was just kind of like, watch out. Like, you're stepping on people. You're running into people. And he was like, oh, fuck you, man. And I was like, all right. And then it happened another time. And I was like, man, like, be careful. And he's like, oh, be careful. And mind you, I'm like 3 inches bigger than this guy.
Sure.
And, like, I probably have like 70 pounds on him. But, like, he was like, oh, yeah, be careful. Sure, man. What are you going to do? And I was like,
I'd
watch
prefer
out.
to not do anything.
Just watch out.
I'd prefer it if you
and then
just stop.
He just stared at me for a second, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go over there now. And then he was like, okay. And then he didn't really do anything. And then he started a mosh pit at a Young Gravy concert.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Which I did see Josh Richardson, the TikTok guy. He works at Barstool or something now. I saw like a bunch of TikTok dudes there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were up on like a higher level.
Dude, they're just trying to get like clout because Baby No Money actually hangs out with people.
I mean, I guess, but also like you're at a Young Gravy Baby No Money concert.
I guess there's going to be some
Toronto
TikTokers.
at History, which is like a kind of a small venue. It's like a 300 person venue, I think.
Yeah.
So like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, that was weird and wild. What was that fucking band?
You could ask if it's bugging you that much.
Band that we went to go see?
Which one?
The first one at History.
Canadian one.
Oh.
I forget.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. What was one of their songs?
Hold on, let me get it.
Evanescence.
Okay. I wish. You know what I wish? You know who I want to see live?
Who?
B.O.B. Keep pretending airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. I can really use it.
I could really use a genie or a wish to go back to a place much simpler than this, because after all the party and the smash and the crash and all the glitz and the glam
What's
and the
B.O.B.'s
fashion.
song with Bruno Mars?
Fuck. It's not magic, is it?
Olivia, what's the Bruno Mars song with B.O.B.?
Oh,
no,
that's a fucking smash hit. I hope that went
that is a
platinum.
smash
I hope that
hit,
went
man.
triple platinum.
I think it actually might have went quintuple platinum.
Oh my god.
If my facts are correct. Are you looking
She's looking
this
through her
up?
iPod video.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you looking this up on a Nokia?
Oh, that's not an iPod video?
Old school.
Oh, it's an iPod Classic? Ah.
Wow.
There's also this thing called
Those things are
Spotify.
bricks. You could beat
Let's
a
see if
man
I can
to
find
death
it on
with that
Spotify.
thing.
This has a lot to do with the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, but what's one of their songs?
Oh yeah, let me. So this was all me trying to give context to this episode. So it's like, what is it? It's past midnight. I just got
On
back
a
from
Friday.
standing and jumping for too long. My heels hurt. My back hurts. I won't lie to you. I'm not the soberest I've ever been in my life.
Clearly, and you're not trying to be either.
Finished a bottle of wine.
Oh, I didn't drink a whole bottle of wine. Let's relax. I drank half a bottle of wine. And one of the pours was much bigger than I thought it would be.
Anyway, so this one's going to be a bit off the rails. We're already about 10 min in.
10 min in. Not in the Canadian indie rock mix for me. That's not good.
But if
I
there was
really
ever
need
an
to figure out
episode
what
to
this
deserve
was.
this, I believe it is the Jaden Smith Karate Kid.
I really need to figure out what this fucking band is. Okay, Canadian alternative, maybe.
No.
No.
Oh, you guys
Canadian
are still
Mother. Yeah,
I
Mother.
remember you guys talking about that.
Wow.
Wow, clearly made an impact, huh?
It was actually pretty good.
I'm joking.
It was pretty good, but like,
Don't mock my high school bands.
Hey, I listened to the All American Rejects, so I can't say anything.
I think with both of the concerts we went to, though, because we're like not old, but we're like a little older.
You're not like teens, yeah, I guess.
We went in and we're like, oh, I don't think we're the demographic for this.
Really? For both of them?
Yeah, I felt a little old at both of them.
I bet you were not that much older than the average.
Yeah, but like, there were people, you know, clearly.
I think it was just mostly people with different lifestyles than you have.
I think there were a lot of people in K-holes as I was there.
Not what I was anticipating.
You know, sometimes that happens, but like, I'm not really K-hole on a Thursday night kind of guy.
I guess so.
You know, I have things to do. I have taxes to pay and
yeah,
cars to drive home, and I guess I don't really pay that much in tax, but
that's true.
I'm evading it, but that's a joke. So please don't come after me.
So the
CRA.
Chinese government granted the filmmakers access to the Forbidden City, the Great Wall of China, and the Wudong Mountains.
And they also helped produce the movie, which I think also included them giving them heavy tax credit, so it looked like more of a success than it might have been, because this does not look like a $40 million movie. You don't just get to shoot on the Great Wall of China for a $40 million
Although
movie.
I will say there was one shot on the Great Wall of China that I noticed that was so clearly rotoscoped in. They did not have shadows, and they were too big in comparison to the Great Wall.
Was it the one where it's like swooping?
Yeah, it's like they made it to look like a helicopter shot, but it was very clearly like they were just
Oh
put
yeah.
in there like two little Lego
Hillary
figures.
asked me, she was like, that's got to be CGI? And I was like, it might not be, because they actually shot the shit in China.
Well, no, they had actual shots
Yeah.
on the Great Wall, but that shot specifically
Okay.
was like very clearly like, I was like, he looks too big. And then I looked and I was like, also too bright. And then I checked and I was like, oh, and not a shadow to be seen.
Yeah. This guy's watching too many VFX artists react.
I actually haven't watched one in a while, but
I
I've been
haven't
wanting
either.
to. Dude, I saw, this is completely unrelated.
Okay.
Because I've been watching the new Ahsoka show. Quick review. Wouldn't recommend it to a regular person. Would heavily recommend it to a Star Wars fan. I think it's
Interesting.
very fun, but like you need a lot of knowledge to watch it. They're kind of expecting.
Love it when you need to do research for something that you're going to watch. I love that.
Well, it's not that you need to do research.
I actually have a review that I want to do
honestly,
later on.
it kind of feels like, excuse me, it just feels like Star Wars Rebels Season 5. Like, it just feels like a sequel show. So
Love
it's like,
that.
Dude, okay, fucking I've watched every Marvel thing that exists.
I haven't. I didn't watch
You
Secret
used to
Invasion.
be that guy, though.
I stopped after Miss Marvel. I still watch the movies because I like movies,
Sure.
but I'm not watching the fucking shows.
You didn't watch Secret Invasion?
No, I didn't even think about it.
You did watch Miss Marvel, though, and Moon Knight.
I forget what happened in both of those, though, so I consider me having not watched them.
That's
I
okay.
have a little review.
Okay.
I saw Bottoms with Hillary.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty good. I'd recommend it. I think it might already be on VOD. But if you're interested in the next Emma Seligman movie, which
I'll look into it.
It's good. It's got a little bit of a not another teen movie, but I'm a cheerleader kind of energy. But a little more modern, a little more sleek. It's got Marshawn Lynch in it. So I'd recommend that. Anyway,
Nice.
The Karate Kid from 2010, with starring Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan, and Taraji P. Henson
So
of Hidden Figures fame.
Yeah, that's it. What was the show she was in? Empire with
Sure, man.
Terrence.
Did you watch
Terrence Howard.
Empire?
No, but there was a while where it was like one of the shows.
Sure. I don't. You're talking TV, man. And Terrence Howard. I've written that man off.
Oh, you're saying
since
I'm
he tried
talking TV. You're a movie guy.
Yeah. Since Terrence Howard tried to reinvent math, I'm done.
Don't know what you mean by that. We're moving on.
He literally did this interview where he's like, something about math is wrong and 1 + 1 is actually 3. And like he's trying to reinvent his own math. I love you. Are you going to sleep? Okay. Bye, little guy.
He also walked away from Iron Man, which anyone who's willing to do that.
I mean, he was the highest paid actor in the first Iron Man.
And I think he wanted to be in the second one too.
Yeah. But then Don came in and he saved that bitch.
Don came in and Don, well, I'm just going to say, he cheated.
He cheated all over them.
He did a big cheat. One might even say he was giving away Cheetos.
He's got donk cheese.
He's got donk cheese?
Like dick cheese. That's not
yeah, but why'd you say donk?
Like Don. Dick Don. Don.
Oh, you
Dick,
took the K from
cheese.
Dick and put it on the Don.
Donk cheesel. Or I could say dong cheesel.
Donk cheesel.
Dong cheesel.
Dong cheesel?
Yeah.
Why dong?
Like dong is like another word for penis.
So dong cheese.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious gravy.
Young gravy?
So let's start with this. At 18 minutes in, let's start with this. What were your thoughts on the... Give me a gut feeling that you've got about this film.
I think Jaden was very good. In this
Really?
movie. He was really good in this movie.
Because I have a feeling, but I have a feeling your overall thoughts are pretty negative.
I think it's a little boring. I think there's some stuff that's just like not as powerful as the original one.
Okay.
Like a couple of the things that have symbolism in the original don't really in this one. And also it's about kung fu, not karate, which is a bit of an irker.
Why is it an irker?
Because it's called the Karate Kid. He's not the Karate Kid. He's
But
the
is
Kung
that
Fu
the only
Kid.
reason, or do you just think Kung Fu's less cool than karate?
I think Kung Fu's more cool, but I think the
agree.
fact that it's named Karate Kid is kind of lame.
Here's the thing. I'm willing to bet that they debated calling it the Kung Fu Kid.
They probably
Because that doesn't
should've.
even sound that bad.
It sounds better.
But I think that, like, they were like, no, we need the direct connection. We need it to...
I mean, that's probably why. But the only time he's doing karate is when he's watching the TV.
Even then, I'm pretty sure it's Kung Fu.
No, it says karate lesson.
Oh, okay.
And then there's also some like weird stuff that felt like Chinese propaganda where it's like, oh, China's so great. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's not, but also like, and I'm sure this happens with American movies. I'm not like excluding things, but like, it just felt a little strange of
Can I
Will Smith's going to China to make this movie with his kid as the star with Chinese money.
about how great China is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how like Americans can move there and, figure it out and it's okay.
Yeah.
And also
we're very
like,
welcoming.
it's kind of weird that like at his school he can't find any friends, but when they're like on class trips and stuff, there's like a lot of seemingly white or Western
I noticed that
there.
too. Because I was like, why is the tour guide speaking English?
Yeah.
And then I was looking around and I was like, maybe there's English kids. And then I realized, there's like a pack of like 10.
There's like 10 white kids.
Yeah. And it's like every time someone speaks English, he goes, oh, you speak English?
Yeah.
It's like, what? He's not going to go to the white kid and be like, I mean, the only kid he does talk to is the guy that looks like you.
That's true. He does actually kind of look like me.
Literally, as soon as he popped on screen, I was like, Calder's in the movie. Like, not like you now, but when you were a kid,
I
was
looked like that.
You looked like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just find it weird that like when they need it to be, all the classes, all the rooms are filled with Asian kids, but then like when they're exiting buildings and stuff, there's like it's like mostly white kids.
Well, and also just with the languages they're speaking, like it's so inconsistent with when they speak. I think it's Mandarin in this movie. Could be Cantonese, but I'm not sure.
Jaden just says Chinese, so
yeah, that's the thing that I noticed. They just kept referring it to as Chinese.
Yeah.
But like they're not very consistent with when they're speaking. I'm just gonna say Mandarin. When they're speaking Mandarin and when they're speaking English, sometimes, like I thought it was just they were speaking English when they were talking to Dre, but then sometimes
Zhao Dre.
What?
Zhao Dre.
Yeah.
Learn that.
Yeah. Instead of Danielson.
That's true.
Anyway, can I give you my quick...
One last thing.
Okay.
I also just think it's kind of poorly directed, and I think a lot of the action's kind of bad. And that just kind of ruined it for me, because it's like the fight scenes are kind of supposed to be a big part of it.
Let me touch on that real quick, and then I'm going to give my overall thoughts. I thought the fight where like Jackie Chan comes in and does his first fight scene where he's like fending off the kids... The choreography of that fight was like really good.
It was like a Jackie Chan fight.
Yeah. But there were 500 million cuts. The shots weren't interesting. Like there was one time where they stayed on a shot for like 4 seconds. And I was like, I wish they stayed on it for like 8 or 10.
Yeah, you're watching something and you're like, oh, I hope I see how this plays out. And then it cuts to something and you don't see what happens.
Yeah.
So it's just like stuff like that where it's just...
Which I think was of the time. I mean...
I guess, but also like that's just a poor choice.
Yeah, it's a poor choice.
Like, it's
but
not
it was
like
also
it has
during
the
the
fervor.
shaky cam era, kind of, in the like...
It's kind of at the end of it, though.
I guess
like
so.
It doesn't have... It also... I get that it's of the time, but it doesn't have the fervor or like the intensity of the fight scenes in a Taken or a Bourne or like a Batman Begins. Where like he's frantically fighting these people. He's competently fighting these people. He doesn't need to be like... The movie doesn't need to feel frantic, even though it doesn't, because there's like no energy in the movie either.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think it's kind of poorly shot.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Not to insult the director, but he hasn't made incredible things. So like...
All right.
He's made Pink Panther 2 and Agent Cody Banks.
Pink Panther has the answer.
And then some other stuff in like... He's Dutch, so...
Can I give my quick overall thoughts?
Sorry.
I think the first 2 acts of the film are slow and boring. I think they're bad.
Okay.
Or not the first 2 acts, but the first half. And then like right at the halfway point is when...
Like when? Like what scene?
That's literally what I was about to say.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Like literally at the halfway point of the movie.
But like what scene?
I'm going to try one more time.
Okay. What scene?
Literally at the halfway point of the film is when the jacket training actually like has its like, oh, this is how you can apply it.
But like what scene?
And what it
I mean,
means.
like scene number in the script.
When Jackie Chan first fights fights Dre, or not fights, but like
But
shows him.
starts teaching him, yeah.
Not starts teaching him.
Like
He's
starts
been
to teach him.
You are driving me off the ledge.
Jump. I think that.
I wasn't done,
Sorry.
dude. I'm losing it.
I'll make you find it.
Find what?
You said you're losing it.
What?
I don't know, your testosterone.
Interesting. But like that's what the halfway point is, and from that point on, it like picks up quite a bit. But even then, it's like they're still trying to like get to the tournament. It's kind of slow. They like really stay on moments a lot, but not in a way that's like, oh, they're letting the scene breathe. It's more of a like, okay, like okay.
The movie
go.
does not need to be 220.
No, they could cut out like literally just trim the fat of the movie and probably bring it down to like sub 2 hours.
There was also an alternate ending.
Interesting.
Which
Where he lost?
No, where Jackie Chan's character, Mr. Han,
Yeah.
fights Master Lee at the end of the tournament because Lee hits his kids to discipline them.
Interesting.
And then Dre comes in as Jackie Chan's gonna kill or like punch Lee in the face, and
stops him.
He's like, he's had enough. Or kung fu isn't for violence.
Did they
or
shoot
something.
that?
I think so, because it was on the
Interesting.
Wikipedia article.
That's very interesting. I'd be interested to see that.
So I think they were probably just like, yeah, we can't make this 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Here's the thing. They could have probably kept that, trimmed a bunch of the rest, and had it, be like 210 still.
Family movies, the ideal length is 90 minutes.
Yeah.
We're 50 minutes over that in this movie.
Honestly,
so it just feels slow because there's only really enough plot in this movie for 90 minutes.
they just fill everything, man.
Yeah, like scenes are like 2 minutes long when they don't need to be.
You know when you get a cream-filled donut? Sometimes you get it and you're like, man, there's not enough filling in here. Sometimes you get it and you're like, dude, there's so much filling in here that every single bite I'm like the donut
cream's
has become
busting
a
out
bowl.
of my mouth. It's like
the donut's become a bowl at
I'm
this
filled
point.
with cream right now.
And it's like, it's too much. That's what this movie is, where it's like,
Too much cream.
there's too much cream in this movie, man. There's far too much cream.
Will Smith and his co-producers filled it with too much cream.
Filled it with too much cream. Way too much cream. Here's the thing, though. The final act, once they actually get to the tournament, I think the entire tournament bit is an absolute blast. But that's about it.
Yeah, I think the tournament's fun, but I also think it lacks something because the first two acts are kind of weak and don't really set up things very well. Where it's like, I don't think his training, like, it seems stupid to say this, but the original Karate Kid training made more sense. His whole training is basically take your jacket off.
He kind of does the jacket thing, and then it's like immediately into, and now he can fight.
Yeah, it's like climb a mountain.
Yeah.
And then also I'm going to control your arms with these poles.
Yeah, which I
then-
thought were cool when they were like on the dock, because it felt like some mirroring thing. But when they did it just like in the courtyard, I was like, I couldn't really tell how they worked. Like, are you like, I feel like it must.
I think it's supposed to be like feeling the movements or
I know,
something.
but it's
and I'm
like-
sure there's some sort of basis in that at some point.
But there were like times that like there was, oh yeah, because Mr. Han is crying post car scene, which we'll talk about. But like he's crying, and then Dre has the big sticks that are attached to Mr. Han's hands, and he like lifts up the stick to make Mr. Han's hand wipe his eyes because he's crying. But it's like, how is Dre holding the end of like a 6 or 7 foot wooden pole, and he has the strength to lift it all the way. He's holding the end of it.
So you're saying that Dre can defeat leverage?
If you're holding like a 2x4,
I can hold 2x4 by the end because
with one hand, can you lift it at the very end?
I'm telling
No
you
way,
right now, you give me a 12-foot 2x4, I could pick that up with my pinky and my thumb and lift it and rub your eye.
Pinky and your thumb, man.
Yeah.
What
Just
do
like
you
this.
open with your pinky and your thumb?
Sometimes I take my contacts out like that if I feel like my fingers are dirty.
Are those not fingers?
Well, the thumb.
Okay,
you know when they
bring that
remember when they used to say that
bullshit
your
on
thumb's
here.
fungus?
What the fuck?
Remember when
No,
that-
I haven't heard that
Oh,
the thumb
really?
is fungus. I've heard that the thumb just isn't a finger.
That was something that people told me in grade school. They're like, your thumb's not actually a finger.
I mean, I heard
And then you
that.
go, what is it? And then they go, it's a fungus.
That's so.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
I've never
You
heard
think
the fungus part.
it doesn't taste like a mushroom, and it's not getting me tripped out
Maybe that's why babies suck their thumbs, because it tastes like a little fungus.
because they're in fucking K-holes.
You're on a K-hole binge right now. So
Sometimes you gotta be.
okay, let's start at the beginning. What do you think of them actually going to China?
I don't understand why.
The funding, man. Oh, in universe.
Yeah, in universe. No, I understand why, but I
know.
don't understand why.
I think
For a
in
Job at a
do,
car plant,
'cause they-
she's moving to China.
Yeah, they explain it as
She works at GM.
Taraji P. Henson has gotten a new job that requires them to move to China, but they don't tell us anything about the job. They don't show us anything about the job.
Is she in a management position? Is she just moving to work on the production line?
Because can I be honest? And this may be rude, but just from what we get of Taraji P. Henson's character, I don't get the feeling that she's at like
An
a
executive or
position that
something?
would
Well, they also live in a like shit house.
justify moving all the way to China
Yeah,
from New York, right? They were in New York, Detroit.
That's why he wears lions and
Oh, I didn't notice.
tiger shirts.
I did kind of like the first shot of the movie being of the door frame.
That was cool.
Because I kind of like that it's like, okay, we're not going to show you all of
We're not
like,
gonna explain
his
it all, and-
history.
yeah.
But like, we're also not, by showing it, they don't have to really tell us because we're like, okay, they've
But they
spent
don't
like
do-
a lot of time here.
But then they don't do any visual storytelling for like the entire movie.
Yeah, that's
Aside
literally
from
the, that's maybe, I mean, I'd have to like,
They're like, we
look
got an
back.
opening shot, we got a closing shot.
Yeah.
Let's fill it in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what her job is or why she would have moved. There was this thing that there was like this management idea kind of around this time of like moving Americans to other places around the world to instill the American culture
Weird.
in their production factories, but I don't think that's what she's doing.
No, I think they were just like,
'Cause
we need to put them in China. How do we get them there? Well, just say that we'll just use the same as the first movie and just say the mom got a new job.
Yeah, like she very well could be doing that, but they don't
I
live in
doubt
a.
it.
Maybe this is a nice place. Like they don't live in a nice place, really. So you'd
Yeah.
assume that person is making a lot of money because they've been moved abroad to train a new factory.
Yeah.
And we just don't get any information aside from like she works at a car plant.
Yeah. And
So,
I'd like
like-
to clarify my comment about her just her
Because
not giving,
she wasn't hitting figures.
Yeah.
She does know how to do math.
But in this movie, the reason she doesn't give the vibe that she'd be at a high up position that would require moving to China is because how is it that on the plane to go to China to live there, she is on learning
in a
how to say what is your name,
yeah, that's
learning
true.
the language.
And they're an economy.
Yeah.
And it's just very strange.
And like,
And also-
neither of them have even really tried to learn the language. Neither of them seem to have any inkling of anything about the culture.
They don't know where they're living. They don't know where things around their house are.
Yeah.
They don't know how the hot water works.
Yeah. They haven't looked up anything about the school because he wears his uniform not on uniform day, which I guess like they just got confused because they don't know how to understand the language yet because they haven't put in effort to do so, I guess. But like, it's just like, oh, oopsies. And it's literally just like, I don't know, man. It just seems like they were so unprepared to go to China.
Yeah. And, it's really because the only thing she does in the movie is, like, tell him to pick up his jacket. Like, that's her role in this whole movie.
And be worried, basically.
Yeah. But it's just like, pick up your jacket. Oh, no, he got kicked in the head by, like, a flying roundhouse kick. Yeah. Because these kids are rough in the tournament.
Yeah, man. Oh, I will say this. I think that, like, the main bad kid in this movie, way more intimidating than the main bad kid in the original.
I feel like he could kill someone.
Yeah, he's just like the way he like stares and smirks in this movie. I'm like, oh, he and I think even in the tournament, it seems like he like
wants to kill everyone.
Hurting people.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first one, it was like this guy's just like a bit of a meanie.
Yeah.
And like he showed a bit of like
he's got
hesitancy in the final fight, but like, he's just got like a superiority problem. Whereas this guy, it's like, it looks like he wants to like hurt people genuinely. Mm-hmm. And then he hesitates for a second on like break. Did you have subtitles during a lot of the scenes that weren't English?
I think so.
Because I didn't, because I downloaded the movie so I could watch it on my phone on the train to get here.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I had no subtitles, which was honestly kind of nice because then there were just some scenes where like they just spoke Mandarin for like
it's like West Side Story
2 or 3 minutes, and I just kind of had to like pick up on what they were saying and what they meant based on context.
So you know Mandarin now.
No.
More than Dre, probably.
Probably. So
back to the beginning.
Sure.
Dre moves to China. He goes to the park.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Because I didn't have subtitles, I did remember from previous watches, though, years and years ago, that the trainer does tell the main bad kid to break his leg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know for sure on this watch whether he said that. But, like, he shows hesitancy there, but then does it. But then, like, as soon as the fight's over, all of a sudden he's a good boy.
Yeah, he bows.
He, like, gives Dre the trophy. He bows to Mr. Han, which I never got it previous times I watched. But this time, I kind of got the vibe that all of those kids were like, we want you to be our master now. Because, like... he was a bad teacher. He taught us the wrong things, but I didn't get that the previous times, but I did this time.
Apparently, Master Lee is a pretty big actor over in China.
Oh, yeah?
He's worked with Jackie Chan a couple times.
Nice.
In some movies. But back to the beginning of the movie. Dre goes to the park, plays a little basketball. They think he's going to be good.
Yeah, and then he hucks it 15
and then he
feet
says,
over
my
the
arm's
backboard.
jet-lagged.
Yeah, well, first he says, like, in the apartment, he says airplane lag. And then Taraji P. Henson makes fun of him for it. And I'm like, there were a couple jokes in this movie where they, like, really, it felt like they were like, and here's the joke. Yeah. And I was like, is it?
Where it's like, he says airplane lag, and she's like, oh. Oh,
it's
Dre.
jet lag.
Oh, Dre. Jet lag. And pick up your jacket.
Yeah, man. It was just very strange. There were like a couple ones like that. Oh, dude. Sorry. Just to go even more to the beginning. When the guy who's like clearly Dre's best friend from Detroit, like gives him his skateboard, and Dre's like, "No, man, I can't take this." And the kid, I know he's just a kid actor, but he just goes, "No, come on, Dre, just take it."
And then runs next to the car as they drive away.
Which is like kind of sweet, but the delivery on that line was
also,
just like,
why
wow.
is the skateboard not in it more? Why is he not skateboarding everywhere?
He uses it in one scene.
That's like I feel like there's a couple things that are missed. Also, his gi that he gets. I don't know if it's a gi, but like I know it's called a gi in karate. I don't know what it's called in kung fu. But like the gi that he gets in the original, in the original, it's got some meaning because like
it's Mr. Miyagi.
Miyagi puts the symbol on the back of it for Daniel. And this one is just like, oh, this is the one that Bruce Lee wears.
Yeah, it's just like, I like Bruce Lee.
Yeah. And also the like crane kick thing, I feel like I guess
like
is kind of set up is with the snake, but also it's kind of like, I kind of forgot about the snake because that was 45 minutes ago. So like, I don't know. I feel like that's not as important.
Yeah.
I felt like it should have been the high kick that he was doing. That should have been his finishing move.
The high kick with the bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Because they keep like showing him practicing that, and then you never really see him do that.
Here's the thing, Calder. If they did that, they couldn't have Jaden Smith use mind control on another human being. Dude, he literally controlled his fucking mind. And like not even a little bit. It's not like he tilted his head a little bit to like do it. And then the guy like slightly tilted his head to hint at like, wow, Dre actually did it. The kid literally puts his hands down and like fully tilts his head. And it's like, did he just put a spell on this guy? Because he watched a snake lady do something one time.
Well, because he's so locked into the chi.
He's so just genuinely gifted.
It's like the Force.
Yeah, it's like everyone can use the Force,
but some people kung fu.
Dude, genuinely, when I watched this movie as a kid, I like was like, I gotta do kung fu.
And how'd that work out?
Well, I didn't pursue it. I would just punch the air in my room.
I know exactly how long my arms are.
Literally,
what do you think of the soundtrack?
Dude,
it's fucking weird.
I literally wrote at the very beginning. I was like, oh, because
it's the John Mayer song on the plane.
what is it called?
Say what you need to say.
Say what you need to say.
I was just like, fucking plane?
Plane to China. And then they play, they start the movie with an Usher song.
Oh, yeah, but that's good.
They've like got quite a few in here. There was one time where they played like kind of a poppy, hip hoppy, like Chinese song. Sure. So then I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. They're like slowly progressing into like more Chinese influence as they're living there. But then it was like, nope, then they'll just throw another random
Didn't they play like
American
a Flo Rida song?
Yeah, they did. I'm pretty sure.
It was such a strange soundtrack.
It was a strange soundtrack, but it was like, it was very of the time, similar to like, these are going to be like Transformers or Alvin and the Chipmunks. Where it's like they've just got all the songs from the past 20 years are happening all in this movie.
Yeah, they're just like, boys, we've got unlimited Chinese money for this.
Yeah, let's get the licensing for every song. It was just insane. Are you looking up the soundtrack?
Yeah, I just want to see what.
While you're doing that, I might just say a couple more things. Oh yeah, what did you think of them getting to the airport and them doing a little gag where like the person who's meeting them has a sign saying Mrs. Packer instead of Mrs. Parker?
I think it was just kind of lame.
I thought it was like a little weirdly racially toned.
Really?
Yeah. Because it seemed like it was like a play on like pronunciation. That they took the R out of Mrs. Parker. And I was just like, it just felt like weird.
I didn't.
Because it's like,
I was trying not to like,
it's not like a really funny joke.
No.
So I was like, is that what the joke is? It just felt strange.
There are some things in it where you're just kind of like, that's weird. Especially since there's like pretty big involvement from China. That they're like, yeah, make fun of us. Like, we're goofs.
Yeah. But like, it's just like a couple times, which honestly makes it feel worse than if it was a lot. Because then it just feels like like it was non-Chinese people being like, yo, what if we did this? And they were like, I guess.
That wasn't a Chinese song, Adam. That was a Gorillaz song performed in Chinese.
Interesting.
Sorry to get back to the music. We've got Flow Rida's Low, Lady Gaga's Poker Face, Higher Ground by the Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Dance Revolution,
Back in Black by AC/DC, Do You Remember by Jay Sean featuring Sean Paul and Lil Jon, Remember My Name by Fort Myer. What was the Kanon song? Bang Bang by Kanon. Say by John Mayer. Flight of the Bumblebee was also big in it. Like, it's like a grab bag of stuff. And obviously, I wish Never Say Never was actually in the movie.
Although it is kind of funny that they end on like the victory of the final fight, and then and they just like do a freeze frame and like still, and then it like fades out, and then it's just like Justin Bieber hits you hard.
I liked that song.
I know
I bet
the
you that
entire words of Jaden Smith's verse in that song.
I bet you that song contributed $120 million to the budget.
Probably.
Or the box office, sorry. So what are we, like 3 minutes into the movie? There's like a 30-year-old man in Cheng's gang, the villain's gang, of like ruffians. There's
What do
like
you mean?
2 30-year-old men in that gang of Chinese martial artists. Yeah.
Like two
There's
of them.
one guy who has a scar across the top of his head and bags under his eyes. He's supposed to be 13 years old. He looks
Are
like
you
me.
saying he is 30, or are you
Yes,
saying
I'm
you
telling-
suspect he's 30?
Okay, I suspect
Because I
he's
didn't
30.
get that vibe. I just got it that like some people like have bags under their eyes.
Oh, at 13?
Dude, I've got bags under my eyes.
How old are you, Adam?
13.
We can't be doing this then.
Why?
Because then I'm just like Colleen Ballinger. Toxic gossip train. Such a toxic gossip train.
That
was Dumb Ways to Die.
Dumb Ways to Die. Toxic gossip train. All aboard the toxic gossip train.
Wow. We're on a heater tonight, my man.
What does that mean? So
We're hot right
overall,
now.
I think the movie genuinely might be like at least like a 9 out of 10.
I gotta tell you, because with this movie and with the next Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that we're gonna be doing, there are a couple Hillary comments in there because I watched them with her.
Okay, go ahead.
At one point, they're like Mr. Han and Jaden are riding away in like, you know, those little motorcycle with the seats in the back kind of thing. I'm not saying the name on purpose because Hillary just looks at me and goes, Rucksack. And then I look at her and I go, Rickshaw? And then she died laughing because she got
Shack.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that.
And then there's a couple more for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
All right, I'm excited.
But let's
Okay, can I throw kind of like an interesting topic out there?
I think so.
So you were talking about how like the movie kind of just makes China look good the whole time, in kind of a weird way.
Yeah.
And one way that I kind of like thought they did that was China's like quite racist against black people.
Yes.
Like the recent well-known thing that happened was for the Star Wars posters for the sequel trilogy, John
No Finn,
Boyega was
baby.
just like either fully removed from the poster or like shrunken down, because China doesn't like black people generally. So they were afraid that having him big on the poster would hurt their box office sales in China. Spoiler alert, China just doesn't really like Star Wars anyway. So like,
They like Fast and Furious, though.
oh yeah.
For some reason. That's strange.
But Disney really wanted to be like, all right, with the new wave of Star Wars, we're going to like get China in on it. And it didn't really work. But I felt like in this movie, like the boys are being really mean to him and like excluding him and like talking about how like he is like bad for them and like bad for the girl whose name I didn't really get because I didn't have subtitles on. And they say it, I think, once.
They say it twice for sure. but that's not
Yeah.
enough for you to know the name.
Yeah.
I think it's Mei Ying.
Mei Ying.
Yeah.
Okay. But like I do kind of like that it's not like another love interest is the antagonist. It's like, oh, he's a family friend. Like their families are close, so he's just protective of her. I do think that's interesting. But like they're just like very discriminatory towards Dre.
Yeah.
And very judgmental, but they kind of like, it feels like they're skirting the line of addressing that it's because he's black. And it's like, why is everyone like, it just feels kind of disingenuous to have everyone just like,
Not
everyone
like
fully
him.
accepts him, but some people don't like him. But like, I don't know. It just feels weird that it goes completely unaddressed. And I
Well,
guess
there's
like
also
for
the
a
part
kids
where-
movie, you're not going to fully delve into that topic, but it feels like, I guess if it's fully funded by China, they're not going to be like, and also if you're
I
black,
don't know
it's
if
going
it's
to be a
quite
bit
fully,
racist.
but like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. You know what I mean.
there's also the part where he goes to the violin audition,
Yeah.
and then the parents are like, "You can't be with her."
Yeah, she
because-
comes up to him and he's like, really great job. And she goes, we can't be friends anymore. You are bad for my life. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow.
And then they kind of try to play it off like, "Oh, he clapped when you weren't supposed to clap." That's why.
And that's why. Or it's because he made her late or something.
yeah.
But it's like,
But even though the audition got moved a day ahead, 20 minutes from then,
yeah.
that's ridiculous.
And they
That would
didn't
never
inform
happen.
her beforehand.
That's
Truly
stupid.
egregious. Yeah. It
Stuff
just
like
felt
that
like,
makes you hate the bureaucrats.
yeah, man. I don't know. Anyway, that was just something that I felt like, not necessarily that they should have addressed, but something that felt like kind of like a looming unaddressed thing.
Yeah, it felt like there were a couple times where there was going to be like, whoa, whoa. Like,
yeah.
especially with that family thing, I was like, is Dre going to like go home to his mom and be like, they don't like me?
Was this your first time watching it or first time
I saw
watching it
when
in
it
like
came
years and
out.
years? Yeah.
I think the most annoying thing about the movie for me that bothers me is when they play Dance Dance Revolution.
Dude, horrible scene.
It's bad.
It goes on
I
for
think
so
they're
long,
little-
it's not endearing.
They've got a little bit of chemistry. There's a
Sure.
like decent to, you know, it works. The love story thing. It's
Yeah,
kind of sweet.
that scene is bad though.
Where they're just like dancing on the machine. That's not how you play
Like,
Dance
towards
Dance
each other.
Revolution.
And like, here's the thing. I'm not trying to put anyone on blast here, but she didn't do a very good job.
That looked like Hillary was like, "Oh, is she giving him a lap dance?" It's so weirdly sensual.
Well, it's like weirdly sensual, but like it feels like they're playing it off like it's like endearing.
Yeah.
But also like
it's bad.
it's bad. It doesn't feel like it's like they're playing it like, oh, it's like endearing because like even though it's bad, she's like really trying and like doing it for him or anything like that. It just feels like, oh, because like some of the moves are like, wow, this is a child dancing poorly, and then some of the moves are like, why is she moving like that?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if that was like improvised and it was just the actress doing whatever and they just cut it together.
Didn't
But
look
if it was
improvised.
choreographed, weird choreography.
Yeah.
It just like didn't match. It was all over the place. And yeah, like you said, a bit weird.
What are you gonna do? You know, you can't.
It was also too long.
yeah. That every scene is too long.
And can I make a comment about something you said at the very beginning of the pod?
If you remember it.
So you said you think Jaden Smith is very good in this movie.
For like what, a 10 or 12 year
12,
old?
I think, was the character. At least was 12. So
But how old was he actually?
my
I'll
guess is
figure
he
it
might have been like 13 or 14.
For a kid that young, he was born in 98, so at 10 he's 12.
Okay, so,
So it
he
was
was
his
12.
actual age. But for a kid that young to like hit some of the emotional scenes pretty well and
Well,
like
here's
have
what I
that
was
much
gonna say.
charisma.
I think there are some scenes where
you can tell that it is like a kid who doesn't really know how to act trying to like
Be his
act.
father.
Or just trying to like, and now I'm acting in a movie now kind of thing. Like a lot of the scenes with what was it, Mei Ying, like a lot of the scenes between them, I'm just like, man, he's some of his lines and like things he's saying are just like, oh man.
I think
Like-
he's good with the adults. When he's across from an adult, I think he's like pretty,
Which kind of makes sense that, like, you know, he always says whenever he's talking to kids his age, they're like, whoa, let's take a selfie. But then, like, he just wants to talk about the political and economic state of the world right now.
Is that
like,
Sway? That's not Sway in the morning.
I think that was Sway, yeah.
Is that Sway? No.
Might have been. I don't know.
I don't know. It's one of those LA hip hop DJs.
Yeah.
Wild interview.
Wild.
I think it
interview.
might be Sway. Fuck, I gotta figure out who Sway
Dude,
is.
I've
now.
literally got the clip up here. I can literally check.
but I'm not gonna recognize.
Never mind, I didn't.
I'm not gonna recognize Sway.
Anyway, so I thought Jaden Smith was actually like pretty bad at points, which hurts me to say, because he's a little cutie, little endearing in
That
this
wasn't
movie.
Sway.
Okay, it wasn't Sway. You gotta look it up.
I know.
But here's the thing: the scene where he's like crying and yelling at his mom that he hates China, I thought he killed that scene. Truly, like I
Yes.
thought he did a really great job there.
There are a lot of parts where it just feels not Instagram. It feels like it's a young version of his dad. Where it's like it literally feels like Will Smith.
Yeah. The scenes where he gets emotional and like a lot of the fighting scenes, it feels like he's like very, very good. And yeah, he's definitely got like a certain level of charisma in this movie, but I do feel like there's just some moments like he has no riz in this movie. Ralph
big
Macchio
boy.
had so much more like natural charisma in the original Karate Kid. Do you still not have the guy's name?
It's Big Boy.
Big Boy.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know his name
like
was
100
Big Boy.
times.
I've seen
I
him
did not know
500
his name
million
was
times.
Big Boy.
Me neither. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like Ralph Macchio was a bit more naturally charismatic.
Yeah.
It feels watching this movie like it's more of a... It's more like I'm watching a kid, whereas that one was like I'm watching a teen.
Well,
The origi-
yeah, because he's supposed to be a teenager in the original one.
Oh, well, there you
he
go.
gets
That's
a
why.
car, Adam.
Well, yeah, but he says he doesn't have his license.
He's 15.
Okay,
16.
15, 12, that's 3 years.
That's a big difference.
a big difference, he says.
You were wearing lime green when you were 12. When you were 15, you were wearing
Plaid
colorful
shirts, flannels.
Yeah. But not lime green.
No. Muted colors like forest green.
Things that would make you hard to find if you were on the ground in a forest.
Things that would make me hard.
I took your body to the lake.
What did you think of
You say things that make me hard?
Beijing Academy of Music? That spells BAM!
That was bad. That was really bad.
I did. There's just so many things like that. What did you think of Jackie Chan going to fix the hot water, but then he goes, you switch it on when you 30 minutes before shower, you end shower, you switch it off. And then Dre's like, why not just keep it on? We don't even have a switch in America. And then Jackie Chan goes, get switch, save planet.
That's not because he doesn't know how. Apparently, this character doesn't know how hot water tanks work.
Yeah. But also, that's one of the things that felt very much China being like, and we're doing good things here.
Yeah.
We've got these switches that save the planet. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, China, the leader in environmental consciousness.
Oh, it's the switch for the hot water that's gonna save everyone from climate change.
Oh, wait. What are those big old smokestacks in the distance? You see those things
it's
blasting out black fog?
People are heating up their water.
Right. Okay. So, like, I don't have to think about those big
No,
smokestacks.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I did write down I want an old Asian man to take me over and train me at one point.
Yeah, dude. There's
this part of
something
me
about
that's
him.
like I want someone to, you know,
There's something
open
about
their
him.
wing up wide and just nestle me in there like I'm a little egg.
There
And
is
then wait for me
something
to
about
hatch.
like him when he's training Dre and like he's slapping his fist and being
Yeah.
like strong. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, do that to me.
Yeah.
I want you to slap my elbow and tell me to like.
Is this
be
a
stiff and
fetish
strong.
that we have?
No, I think it's just something about like someone providing
a
like
strong man
firm
controlling
support. You know,
Yeah.
but I want it to be a wise old Asian man. Truly.
Okay. You could probably contact Jackie. I think he's estranged from both of his kids.
Yeah, I was talking to Olivia after I watched the movie, and she was like, "Bummer that Jackie Chan's not a great guy." And I was like, "Yeah," because originally it was just like him being very pro-Chinese government.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, they've probably got like a hold over his family. He's
Yeah,
probably
it's
just
like the Danny Masterson situation where all the celebs are coming out writing notes that he's a good guy when he's not.
Yep. That's just a mess, and I'm not gonna touch it any further.
Hey, that's both of our opinions. Let's not support the guy who's a rapist.
Yeah, I'm glad that that's clear. What was I just saying? But then also, so I was willing to kind of forgive that because it was like, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes with like, maybe he's just trying to protect his family. But then Michelle Yeoh came out and basically was like, yeah, Jackie Chan's also like a massive misogynist.
Yeah.
So it's a bummer.
You know, what are you going to do?
This is, I guess we haven't even addressed this. This is our second Jackie Chan film on the pod.
I guess. It doesn't feel like a Jackie Chan film. Because it doesn't
I
have...
kept thinking that. I was like, he feels kind of like an accessory to the movie, even though he's like the second most main character.
Yeah, it's because the movie isn't built to like show him off.
No.
In what he can do. He's got some pretty decent acting in the movie, but like his thing is the creative fights. And he probably helped choreograph some of the fights with like the kids and stuff like that.
yeah.
But like you just watch and you're like, it's got none of the energy. It's got none of the excitement of a police story or something like that.
Now since we're talking about Jackie doing some pretty heavy scenes, you want to talk about the car scene?
Sure, man.
So throughout the movie, they keep kind of like hinting and referencing at this car that's in
You're like, oh, is he going to
Mr.
give it to the
Han's
12-year-old?
living room.
Is he going to give a car to a 12-year-old?
and he's like fixing the car, but then they like kind of make comments where it's like he mentions that he doesn't drive the car, but he has a working driver's license, and Dre's like, then why not drive the car? And he's like, be quiet, please, or something like that when they're on the train. But then Dre's like, are we training tomorrow? Or like, what are we doing tomorrow? And Mr. Han's like, we're not training tomorrow. But then Dre goes there anyway. Nice drop in that. Good job. Proud of you, pal.
And then he smashes the car with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, Dre comes in and he's absolutely fucking up the car.
Yeah.
And he's drunk out of his balls.
Doesn't really have the kind of power that the original has, I don't think.
Here's the thing. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Disagree a little bit. I felt like I kind of like the car thing, and something about him being like, I destroy it every year, then spend the next year fixing it so I can just destroy it again. The issue is it does go on for a while. As most things, they just hold on every shot for about 3 seconds too long, which is interesting because, as we said in the fights, I want them to stay on things for longer, but they just cut so much.
They don't stay on... They don't have long shots, though. The scenes are long. The shots are short.
They just cut between Jackie Chan,
when
the
it's
car,
like an
the photo,
emotional
and
scene.
Dre like
Yeah.
8 times in 4 seconds.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's too much.
I thought that car thing was like actually one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my
Nice.
entire life.
Because
like,
he doesn't really give a good reason.
He's just like, yeah, I build it again every year and then break it and it doesn't fix me. And it's like,
Yeah, it felt like he should have said something like, I destroy it the same day every year to like remind myself
that
of
I killed my wife and child.
Well, it just felt like he had to give some sort of explanation that was like, I do this as a reminder every year so that I never forget them or something like that. That would have made a bit more sense.
The fuck is that thumbnail?
You gotta describe it.
It's in this one too.
You gotta describe it, man. This is an audio podcast. What are you looking at there?
It's a YouTube video titled "The Karate Kid 2010 versus 2023 Cast Then and Now 13 Years," and then it goes off into ellipses. But it's Mei Ying, and then
I think
maybe her.
I guess
still,
her,
but just like an Asian woman with like size. What comes after H? A B C G H I size boobs. She's got I cups.
that may be K size.
It might be K
K
size.
cups, dude.
K hole.
And it comes full circle, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for listening.
That's how we roll.
What?
What?
What the hell was that? I mean,
I was about to sing Old Town Road, and then I forgot it. So I said, that's how we roll.
wow. That's interesting.
Goodness me.
This one did not get nominated for an Oscar.
What a surprise.
This could have been Will Smith's big year, producer.
But yeah, anyway, with the car thing, I felt like it could have been a lot better if Jackie Chan's character actually gave some sort of reason as to why he does it every year. But he was like, I do this every year, and it doesn't help.
Yeah, and you're
It's
like,
just like,
oh, really?
Not that it should help, because, like, nothing will bring them back. But it felt like he was being like, I do this every year, and it doesn't help, but then I do it again anyway. And then Dre's like,
here, I got these poles.
yeah, here, let's just like let's play some kung fu.
And then Taraji finds them.
Well, then all of a sudden, Mr. Han's like, you taught me to move on, Dre. And it's like, all he did was show up and be like, get out of the car.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. There's like, I think the scene where they climb the mountain is good.
Yeah, I like that. And then he like dunks his face in this holy water, and Jackie Chan just smiles. I'm like, dude, that was rude. Like,
yeah, you know,
cup your hands.
Don't do that at the Vatican, buddy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the ideas in the tournament are good, but I don't think the tournament shot very well or edited very well.
Okay.
And I think Jaden's pretty good for a 12-year-old.
Sure, that's fair.
Like, compare him to some of the Stranger Things kids in the first season, and they were a little older.
You think he's better than the Stranger Kids in the Stranger Kids in the first season?
I think like two of the Stranger Things kids are like pretty bad.
Here's the thing, though. I think they were better as kids. Like some of them. I think the ones that are bad in later.
No,
seasons,
I mean in the first season. Like Millie Bobby Brown is like pretty bad in that first season.
Well, yeah, but she's not even saying or doing anything really.
Okay, you still gotta act it, buddy. Yeah. And now she's engaged to John Bon Jovi Jr. or something like that. I think his name's like Nick Bon Jovi. Could have gone George Bon Jovi. Or Gus Gongovi.
I'm not entirely sure why Dre threw dirty water on the bullies.
It's like it happened in the first one though too.
Yeah, but that one felt like it was like he'd been really rude to him. He had him trapped in the thing. He could put water on him without him knowing it was him and then run away and leave.
Yeah.
Like it felt kind of like it made more sense. In this one, it looks like he's hiding from them and then all of a sudden throws like a bucket of shit water on
like
them.
20 pounds of water.
Yeah. And then they turn around and he's right there.
Yeah. It's stupid.
Bad plan, stupid.
But it's the exact same thing in the first one where you're like, this kid's just fucking dumb.
Yeah.
He must just have a shit for brains.
Yeah.
He's going to get his ass beat.
I'm just kind of going through my notes saying whatever I've missed.
I don't like that they renamed Miyagi to Han.
You don't like it?
No.
It does feel like Mr. Miyagi is like a staple, but I think I don't know. I don't know what the...
I think it's fine, But it's just like
I think they were probably just like, we changed the main character's name, let's change the other one too.
It just feels like another like iconic thing that they changed for no reason, or like they picked the wrong plot points to pull out of the movie. Whereas like I think Han having like some sort of gi thing would have meant more than them just doing the exact same plot points as like the first one with the shitty decisions he makes and things like that.
Yeah. What do you think? I haven't really thought about this, but what do you think of like them doing a remake but not using the same characters? Like doing a remake that's like a new story, it just follows similar beats, because I feel like we don't actually see that very often.
I think it works sometimes. I think it worked for High Fidelity because I like that show, where it's based on a movie, but they did a TV show with Zoe Kravitz. And I like the TV show, and I think the movie's fine. I just think it's kind of weird because it's saying that these two characters react and are the exact same, even though they're different characters.
Yeah.
I think Dre's a little sweeter than Danny is, but other than that, he's pretty much the same guy, which I just find to be a strange thing to like do. Because
I would have rather just had a new character.
Yeah.
Like just have Dre be like different in more ways.
Like maybe there's a different thing in his home life or something. Like it doesn't need to be he is Danny LaRusso, but also there's like 3 tweaks and he's in China. You know? But the 3 tweaks don't really matter because like they change his race, but it's not like that's brought up, and it doesn't have to be. But if that's one of your 2 or 3 tweaks, I feel like it's got to have some sort of important thing in the story. Where this just doesn't really.
No.
Like the most important things in the story are he gets the shit beat out of him because he's dumb and keeps trying to pick fights with people he shouldn't. And he moves to China. The moves to China is a new one. The first one's the original, and that's kind of it.
Yep. Other than that, he's basically the same guy.
Yeah, he doesn't have a different arc at all.
I do kind of like him meeting Mr. Han and it looking like he's trying to catch the fly with a chopstick, and then he just uses the fly swatter.
Yeah.
Because in the original, Ralph Macchio's like, why don't you just get a fly swatter? I'm pretty sure that he says that in the movie.
He says something like that.
Anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny.
It's not different enough for me to warrant this being made.
Yeah.
You know?
Dre says they would have saved money if they drove instead of taking the train. That's an L. Support public transit, fucker. It also just felt weird that he's like, wait, we could have driven instead of taking the train? It's like,
well, it's because he's American.
Look out the window, dude. What a beautiful train ride.
It's because he's American.
Then he makes a Star Wars reference, which I remember freaking out about as a kid, because he says that Chi is like
the Force,
and Mr. Han is Yoda. And then he says, and I was like, Luke Skywalker, and then he goes, a Jedi. It's like, what the fuck?
Look, what's Samuel L. Jackson's character? He could have picked that one.
Mace Windu?
Yeah. I feel like
but he could have said Luke Skywalker.
I know he could have, but I feel like
it would have made more sense.
They should have just picked a character.
Yeah, but why Mace Windu?
Because I feel like that's probably what they were thinking they were gonna say, and then
I don't know.
And then they're just like,
even know who
we'll
Mace
just say
Windu is.
Jedi. Maybe Sam Jack doesn't want his name brought into this.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like that was a weird point, but the whole time I was like, either say Luke or say Mace Windu or say something, but don't just say
Can I be honest?
Jedi.
I don't think they should say Mace Windu. But you might be right that they thought that.
They need to say something.
Well, say Luke Skywalker. That just makes sense.
Yeah, but also like, if they were gonna say Luke Skywalker, why don't they just say Luke Skywalker? Like that's the thing where I'm like, I feel like
I think they should have done. Yeah,
I know. I think they should have done that too. But the thing I'm thinking is like, okay, they should have done that. That was that not the first idea? Because why are we not doing that?
Because I think the writers of this film might have written it while in a K-hole.
I just don't understand. It's like a weird mind game that I've broken myself with of like, it's like a prisoner's dilemma where it's like they can pick Luke, but because they didn't pick Luke, they picked Jedi, but why would they just pick Jedi? Like, why not pick a name?
Well, that's what I was saying. It feels weird that it's like, you're like Yoda, and I'm like...
Because he's seen the movies.
Yeah.
And Yoda is directly related to Luke. I guess he is to Mace Windu as well, but like those movies are dog shit. And
sure.
But
well, and
then,
this was 2010.
And
so
they were
like,
also coming out. They also came out like a little recently. So was it just to not mention Star Wars because of the controversy?
Well, no, because they referenced Star Wars anyway. So just do the reference.
But Yoda's well liked. I feel like opinion didn't change.
Dude, this
on
is
Yoda.
like if instead it was like, so you're like Superman and I'm like a superhero, and it's like, what? Say Batman or say like Supergirl or one. It would have made more sense if it was like, you're like Batman and he said, and I'm like a sidekick.
Yeah, instead of
saying Robin.
Yeah, it's like, I just don't get
it. We found the analogy, the example that works.
I just don't get it.
It's just a strange thing. I can't believe we went deep into the Star Wars reference.
Because
I was just
even like Mace Windu came out around then.
Why are you? I'm not still on the Mace Windu point.
I'm on all of it right now. Because Luke's not even in that movie. So are they referencing that movie?
What, Revenge of the Sith? Like the
what
prequels?
What movie are they referencing Yoda in?
Probably Empire Strikes Back.
But
because that's when he like talks about the Force.
But 1, 2, and 3 had just come out.
Okay, who cares?
So
though?
Do the kids know
People
1, 2,
were
and 3
already,
more?
Like, kind of.
No, but I'm saying in the writer's mind, he's thinking this joke needs to play for kids.
Sure.
He can't say Anakin, I guess, right? Because Anakin turns evil. We know this.
I guess maybe that's why they didn't say Luke Skywalker, because they were like, kids might not have seen the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Cone Badongo?
The guy with the big head.
Oh, Ki-Adi-Mundi.
I was close.
Actually,
so,
kind of.
If you're gonna pick him as being Yoda,
then say Obi. No, because you can't say Obi-Wan.
You can't say
then
Obi-Wan.
He shouldn't have compared him to to Yoda then.
Exactly. That's my thing. So then it's not Qui-Gon. What's Mace Windu? Right? Because that's kind of Yoda's sidekick in the thing, right?
Sure, but he's not his apprentice
like second,
or anything.
He's like second under.
Sure, but like it makes more sense that he'd be like, you are like the master Jedi and I am like the Padawan or the apprentice Jedi.
So this is the problem I'm having.
So why would they say Yoda? Because he doesn't have an apprentice in the prequels.
Exactly.
So they should have said, so you're like Obi-Wan and I'm like Anakin or something.
Then say Luke.
Well, actually, here's the thing. A good writer writes this movie, they say you're like Yoda, I'm like Luke. Or they don't make a fucking Star Wars reference. But like...
Because they're definitely trying to base it off the recent success, or, success, whatever, in quotes, the knowledge of the recent Star Wars.
And I'm like a Jedi.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. I was watching and I was like, why didn't they say Luke, first of all? Do they want to say something else? Is it weird if they say...
You know what it is? Let's go back to this Batman analogy.
Okay.
Let's say that something had just recently come out.
Like the Batman.
That was like pretty well, like pretty heavily watched. Mm-hmm. But like opinion, it kind of goes both ways on it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people saw it. And it had Batman and it had Nightwing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if they wanted to reference that and they were like, well, we can't reference Nightwing
because not enough people know
Nightwing, but we can't reference Robin because like the kids might not know Robin because the kids know Nightwing.
Exactly.
So then if they just said, with that context, you're like Batman and I'm like your sidekick, or not even your sidekick, a sidekick.
Exactly. It's
not even a sidekick because Yoda is a Jedi. So it's like saying you're like Batman and I'm like a superhero.
See? It's not like he even says Padawan. Right?
He just says like, and I'm
Jedi.
He's saying you're like Yoda, a Jedi, and I'm like also.
Yeah. See?
You know what he should have said?
So he should have said Mace.
No. Because Mace is like...
He's the number 2 in those movies.
No, because him saying Mace would be like if he said, you're like Superman and I'm like Batman. Because it's
I feel like Green Lantern.
Okay, fucker, I don't care.
He's one step below.
Yeah, he's one step below.
Mm-hmm.
On my ranking, he's a lot of steps below.
Oh, like power ranking?
No, just like my opinion of them.
You don't like Mace?
I don't like Mace. I think he's like he's like the epitome of why the Jedi crumbled. He just has.
Oh, this is like lore.
Well, I just think like his hubris, his arrogance. I just think he's.
We'll
like
get into this later on.
Sure.
Next year when we start our series.
Yeah, I don't know. So
it's blowing my brain out the back of my head.
Can we just end this point on this?
Yes.
Bad writing.
It shouldn't have been in there.
It shouldn't have been in there. If you're not going to make a good Star Wars reference, don't make a Star Wars reference at all.
It baffles me. Because
it baffles me.
It's so like stupid that it's just, you're like Yoda and I'm a Jedi.
Yeah. Were you thinking of talking about this before?
I thought about it. I was like, that's weird. I should mention it. But then I mentioned it
and you were like, this is my chance.
Yeah, because
it's a bad reference, man.
It's so like mind bending when you think about it. Like
I didn't even
layered under.
I literally what I had written down about this was just Star Wars reference. I hadn't thought about it at all, and you've cracked open the egg that is my head.
Yeah, I just like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Here's
Yoda
the thing,
and
though.
Luke.
But I think I was thinking of saying Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, or even Qui-Gon, Anakin, because that feels a bit more apt. Even though like he technically never trained him, but that's like more of the kind of mentor relationship. But like, I think they were probably like, but he's only in one of the movies, so like we can't really reference him. I don't think enough know Qui-Gon even.
Yeah,
which is anyway.
It was just strange.
Bad
it
reference.
Just felt like a weird thing that should not have been in there. Not for any like the fact that it's like wrong. It was just felt stupid and gave me many more questions than I thought it should have about like why this movie was being made and like what the idea for the movie was. Where it's just kind of like, where's it going to give you the shit that you had before?
Either say Luke Skywalker or don't make the reference.
Yeah.
Let's move on from this point.
Or just say Jedi.
When they were when they were walking up the stairs, you can tell that Jaden Smith was not sweaty, not tired. He's just walking up. He just looks completely fine. He's going, oh man, how much longer? And it's like, Jaden, you're not fooling me. I'm sorry. I can tell that you walked up 4 steps and then someone else brought you the rest of the way.
You think he's being carried up the stairs?
I think they had something to get him. He wasn't walking up all those
little
stairs.
Chairs that they give old people?
Dude, can you imagine with that many stairs they had a chair that goes up?
How long it would take?
And can you imagine this? It goes fast. You hit the button to start it, and it's like a roller coaster. It takes off like a bullet, like a rocket.
You really got to strap yourself in here.
Yeah. They go, you ready, old man?
And then when you're going down, it just no motor. Just free fall.
Motor. It's like putting the clutch in and going in neutral down a hill. You just but it's
just like, I'm at the will of this machine.
Dude, can you imagine someone like getting knocked out because of all the whiplash going down and their body's just flailing around and it's just like hitting people. The legs are flying out, tripping people. People are falling down these stairs. Anyway.
Do you have more things? I should get to the questions. This
no,
is
I've
be
got
our longest episode.
I'm gonna go quick. Who gives a flying kick?
Probably the guy who's supposed to wake up at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Yep. Oh yeah, I just wrote Jaden's flirting is abysmal compared to Ralph. Ralph was just like so natural.
But Ralph's older.
I know.
And he's also got a little bit of that Brando swag.
I'm going to say quotes from this movie. You let me know if you can identify who said it. I'll let you know when I'm done because there's a couple.
Yeah, sure. I did this for book reports in school where I would just guess. I was like, oh, I read the book.
And I'll
then
try-
flips to a page.
Yeah.
Fucking lying to that fucker.
I'll try to, dude, there was a time that because we had to do book reports
Oh, I know.
in English class in high school where, like you said, they'd flip to a random part of the book, ask you a question about it. I didn't do them. I think it was grade 9, maybe grade 10.
It was grade 9.
But I think it was
You're
grade
supposed
9.
to do it, but then I just never did.
Yeah. But it was like mandatory.
Yeah, in the early years, and then it wasn't.
So, but there was a time where like I was told that I had to do these book tests on these books in order to pass English, even though I had like a grade that was well enough to pass English, even if they gave me a 0 on it. But it was like, this is mandatory. And I lived like, my bus ride was an hour and a half. I lived like an hour away from school. And my English teacher made my mom drive me in a snowstorm on the day before he marked report cards to do a book tests to get that mark in person. And his classroom was next to the fucking library. Just flip to a page. I'll tell you what books I'm doing. Flip to the page. Ask me the question. If I don't answer within like 5 seconds or begin my answer within like 5 seconds, that probably means that I am not searching for the answer in the book in front of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think his fear was that I'd be cheating and looking at the book. But like, you'd be able to tell. You'd hear pages flipping. I'd take way too long. Maybe. But like, who cares?
Yeah.
But he made it, like, we spent like 2+ hours in a snowstorm on the highway
too, right?
Yeah, it was mid-December. It was a snowstorm. It was like
that.
one of the worst blizzards I've ever been in. And I got there.
Oh, you've been in some worse ones. We've gotten some worse ones together.
Maybe once or
just
twice.
covering our face and our bodies and our legs and all that, and then we're all sticky.
And then we huddle together and we go, ooh, I need warmth. I need
and
warmth.
then all his hair ends up on me and all my hair ends up on him.
Yeah. Then you do a little jism.
All right.
Sorry, I ruined it. But anyway, so we literally drove 2+ hours in a blizzard, got there. I brought the books for him to test me on. He did one question for each book, took less than 2 minutes. Then he was like, all right, thank you. And sat down and kept marking report cards. I went home. It was just the worst.
Can I get to questions?
Well, no, because I didn't say the quotes yet.
Oh, right. Fuck.
Ready? You're a dance machine. That was pretty good. Here comes round 2. You're hot.
It's either Jaden or Mei Ying.
Neither. It was the dance It was the dance revolution machine.
They didn't do good though. They didn't hit the arrows.
Well, when Dre finishes, he says, "You're a dance machine. That was pretty good. Here comes round 2." When she finishes, it just goes, "You're hot," which I thought was very strange. Okay, time for me to rip through these. We already talked about this briefly, but changing her audition time day of without telling her ahead of time, just absolutely baffling.
Yeah.
He claps and then notices that no one else is clapping and then keeps clapping. Like he like slows down his claps.
It's supposed to be like overplayed for kids.
I know, but it's like,
it's stupid.
He does like 5 claps after realizing.
Well, he just doesn't really understand what's going on in the world. He's in China. He doesn't know what's going on there. He's never been to China before. He lives in Detroit. He's from Detroit.
Yeah.
He doesn't know about China and the clapping.
Okay.
I'm telling you about the movie. This is the movie. He doesn't know about China.
He doesn't go to China?
He doesn't know about China.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't
really know how
he doesn't
it works.
know
And he
about
doesn't
China.
know about the stuff that's there. And he doesn't know when Uniform Day is. For some reason, he gets it wrong like 5 or 6 times.
I do kind of like how he spends the entire beginning of the movie being like, I have zero interest in ingratiating myself in the culture or learning anything. He's literally like, the guy's like, you don't know how to speak Chinese? And he's like, no. Like he just doesn't care. But
And
then
the
he's
guy's
like, I hate it here. And it's like, you haven't tried, my guy.
Well, he's gotten beat up twice. So.
That's true. I get it.
I'll beat you up twice.
So he's told that he can't be friends with Mei Ying, sorry. With Mei Ying. But then he asks Mr. Han if he can help him with something. Goes to Mei Ying's house and says, I didn't have subtitles for this, so I didn't understand a word.
It's basically like, I'm sorry I dishonored your family. Made a promise, whatever. Just like
if you never
apologizing.
want, does it say something like, if you don't want your daughter to be friends with me, I understand, but I just really want her to come to my tournament?
It's something like, I think he ends with telling about the tournament or something.
Yeah.
And then the father's like, we keep promises in this family.
Yeah. Which
and then
like
kind of like, well, you didn't like that he was black.
Well, that's the
before.
thing. That's the two scenes they're in. Is
Yeah.
being like, I don't like this kid, and then being like, we like this kid.
Yeah.
It's just very strange.
Yeah, go watch him get beat up.
But I do like them closing the door, Dre looking over to Mr. Han, and Mr. Han goes, rock and roll. And then they do like a...
Well, because then they start training or whatever, right?
That's already after all the training.
Oh,
they
no,
do
then
that scene.
then they go
he
into
says
the...
rock and roll. They do a
Right.
guitar riff, and then they just do the shot of
him
Dre
kicking
kicking
the
the
thing.
bell, and then it does a transition into the fight, and I was like, that was fucking rad. That was cool.
It transitions of him kicking the bell into the trophy into the fight.
Yeah. I was like, that was awesome. And that kind of got me ready for the final tournament thing, which
Yeah.
kind of made me enjoy it more, because I was like, we're in this now, even though like some of it was stinky.
Yeah, I just think it's just kind of poorly shot.
Sure. What did you think of Faux Hawk guy who kept rubbing his faux hawk?
I think there was a time in my life where I did have something that could approximate to a bit of a faux hawk, and I understood his compulsion to keep that thing standing up, because it's hard. It's hard to manage that kind of attraction.
Sure.
You know, like, not really ugly people who have faux hawks. It's mostly the hottest of the hot that can manage it.
Yeah, man.
Me and that young man are in that group.
That can manage a faux hawk?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember it being a lot different, because I think on the original Karate Kid episode, I referenced that guy as me, like, because we were talking about how, like, in the original Karate Kid, they don't really highlight the fighters very much. I do like in this one how they, like, show more of the fights and, like, more of the people. I don't know. I thought it was good. But I remembered his thing being, like, much more of a mohawk and being, like, dyed red for some reason.
Yeah, I remember it being a lot crazier.
Because I remember being like, it's crazy that it looks like that. You know what movie we've got to do on this pod at some point?
You let me
Fucking
know.
Real Steel with Hugh Jackman, man.
We'll see, man.
Like,
I think it's on Disney Plus.
What a movie.
Hugh Jackman and his wife getting a
Should
divorce.
we do Robot Month? Do that? Pacific Rim? Robots?
I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I'm not really into things that are kind of creepy and sort of like look like people and like act like people.
I did
and,
kind
like,
of notice that you don't have any mirrors in your apartment.
Yeah, that's on purpose. Any questions, or are we just being stupid?
All right, I guess we should go Adam Driver here. I haven't thought about
I haven't
this.
asked you my
Oh,
questions
fuck.
yet.
Let's go questions, brother.
So I've written down, would you move to China?
I mean, I'm going to need a lot more context than
So
that.
just like right now.
Are you asking if I would ever move to China for any reason?
You moved to China for your job that you currently have.
That I currently have?
Yeah.
No. Absolutely not.
All right. And then I wrote down Kung Fu. Just general thoughts on
love it.
Kung Fu. Yeah, you're good.
It's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty into it. I think it's like probably, it's got the best name out of all the martial
yeah.
arts. I think Jiu-Jitsu is pretty
Jiu-Jitsu
close.
is pretty good.
In terms of name.
What do you think of Tai Chi?
It doesn't have the power. There's something with Jiu-Jitsu.
Tai Chi is
There's
very
like a
much like a
speed.
peaceful
Kung
one,
Fu.
I feels. Kung Fu feels like it has the cool factor of karate while having like the peaceful factor of Tai Chi, or the honorable factor, I guess. I don't know much about jujitsu, but
Yeah. Do you know much about Kung Fu or Tai Chi?
no.
There we go.
No, but it feels like Tai Chi is like people do Tai Chi in the park, you know, whereas karate feels much more fighting focused. I feel like Kung Fu is kind of a balance where it's like it's fighting, but it's like for a certain purpose or something. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass.
Jiu-jitsu is like strangling people, but the name just works, you know. Jiu-jitsu,
Dude,
jiu-jitsu.
Sorry to go back to Star Wars.
Jiu-jitsu.
But there's a fighting style that I think Dre actually references in this movie when he's like talking about like the different fighting
Crouching
styles.
Tiger.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the one where it's like.
Is it actually?
I think that I'm realizing now that it's definitely not what I'm talking about.
Okay, interesting.
But there's a fighting style that's like it's meant to make you look.
What are these fuckers doing over here? Is that a party bus?
You're beeping your truck at what is it, 16 a.m.
What?
So like there's a
4
fighting
p.m.
style. What?
That'd be 4 p.m.
What are you talking about?
16 a.m. Military.
You're
time.
16?
You said what is it? 16 a.m.
And you said 16 I am.
No, I said it'd be 4 p.m.
So there's a fighting style where you like pretend to be drunk to kind of like
Drunk food.
confuse your opponent.
Yeah.
Because they can't really predict your next move. Apparently, Jar Jar Binks' movement in the prequel films was partially based on that.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure.
That's weird.
Or wait. Yeah, or something like that. Or that was like a part of the Darth Jar Jar theory or something. I don't know. Why am I talking about this right now? Go to your
You're
next
just
question.
so Star Wars pilled. You're like one of those
I am
racist,
Star Wars
sexist
pilled.
fans of Star Wars.
I'll beat you up, IRL.
Which of us would win in a kung fu fight against each other?
You.
You want to see?
You're bigger than me and taller than me, and he's older than me and stronger than me,
I'm not
and his
older
arms
than-
a little
I guess I
bit
am
longer
older
than
than
me,
you.
but he ain't on a JB song with me. I be trying to chill, maybe trying to side with the thrill. No pun intended, was raised by the power of will. Like Luke with the Force, and push comes to shove. Like Kobe in the Fourth, I swallow the blood.
Luke with the Force. He references
he
Luke.
references it in the song, dude. He says like Luke with the Force, and push comes to shove. Like Kobe in the Fourth, I swallowed the blood. He references Luke Skywalker in the song, but not in the movie. Why?
Wow. That's some investigative journalism that we've just done. Move over,
Dude,
Reuters.
that's insane. Just reference Luke in the movie, man.
Dude, I'm blown away right now.
Gotta be the best, and yes, we're the flies like David and Goliath. I conquered a giant. But now I got the world in my hand. I was born of 2 stars, so the moon's my land.
2 stars, Tatooine. 2 suns.
2 suns, the binary sunset.
This is like decoding the Bible right now.
Dude, wait, was this the first sequel movie? The first Star Wars sequel movie?
It wasn't a Disney movie. Killed it there, didn't I?
Is this Lucasfilm?
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah. They're like Indiana Jones.
George Lucas is just like, yeah, we've gotta make this one in China. Get Jackie Chan in there.
I've always wanted to make one with Jackie Chan. That's a good George Lucas. I just did.
We gotta reference Star Wars in there. Nobody likes my prequel movies, but they will. Once I sell Star Wars for $500 trillion, I will. Actually, looking back at how much he sold Star Wars for, it's like baffling he didn't sell it for more.
It was like $4 billion.
Something like that. I don't know. But like it's one of like, I know it's kind of been going downhill in recent years, but like it is one of the like tentpole franchises.
I think it's because the toys didn't make much money anymore.
Well, that's because the toys made a ton of money in like the 80s.
Yeah.
And then they were like, dude, that's going to happen again. And way overproduced. They did it with the prequels, and then they did it again with the sequels. Apparently, like, retail distributors have like massive excess of like sequel trilogy toys.
Interesting.
Where it's like still have like Force Awakens Rey's and Kylo Ren's and Poe Dameron stuff because they way overproduced it because they thought that people were going to be like, but it's like you got to make good shit for people to care about
just,
it.
like putting shit on a lunchbox
Yeah.
and like putting stickers on bananas.
Yeah. Dude, I remember walking into the store and seeing a basket of oranges with BB-8 on it. I was like, that is...
Just sick in the head.
Can you ask your next question, dude?
Do you think Jaden Smith should act more?
I don't know. I haven't seen him act in a while. What's the last acting thing he did? Like
last big
After
acting
Earth?
thing?
Would After Earth be his last like big movie?
I can tell you, big boy. But right now he's kind of just like making kind of weird music.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to 2 of his albums. I didn't really like either of them. out of like 30 songs or whatever, I liked two or 3 of the songs.
So here's Jaden Smith's filmography. We've got Pursuit of Happiness, which
Banger.
he's quite good in.
It's great in.
The Day the Earth Stood Still, which I think also... No, Will Smith's not in that. It's got Keanu Reeves. Then Karate Kid. Then the Justin Bieber Never Say Never thing, which I think made like $100 million at the box office.
I watched that movie 100 times.
It made $99 million at the box office. And then After Earth, and then a movie called Skate Kitchen, and then Justin Bieber's Seasons, which I think is his Christmas thing. Oh, I opened that up in a new window. I don't know what this is. I've never heard of this before. It's like is this a Quibi show? What the fuck's going on?
I couldn't care less.
And then he's in the Impractical Jokers movie as himself.
Interesting.
And then he's in a movie called Life in a Year with, I think it's, Cara Delevingne as his love interest and Cuba Gooding Jr. And then he's in a Kid Cudi documentary.
What in the world? So After Earth is his last big thing.
He was in
I'd be interested to see the Cara Delevingne one.
He was a voice in Intergalactic, that Kid Cudi movie on Netflix that looked cool, but I never watched.
Sure thing, brother.
Yeah. It's just weird. Like, I mean, I guess
feel like
he can do
started
whatever
to focus
he
more on
wants.
music.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. The music's like not good.
I really like Summertime in Paris. Is that the song? Summertime is meant to fall in love.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I mean, you make 3 albums, there's gonna be like
a song,
2.5 good songs.
Yeah.
This is why rappers are putting out 50-song albums now.
I feel like he's mostly just been like laying low and making music because for a while he was like really made fun of, which like I'm realizing now is just like because he was growing up, so he was saying some cringy things. He just happened to be in the spotlight. That's why I opened the show with that, just so we could make fun of him a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Jaden, come on if you want. You're invited on the show
genuinely,
anytime.
Jaden Smith, if you want to come on the show.
We can talk about the Timothy Chalamet, Kylie Jenner thing. I know you were close to her at one point. I don't know if you still are. The sort of whole dynamic of like, imagine this.
Okay.
This was blowing my mind earlier this week. You're a child. Kylie Jenner's got a kid with Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And then you're growing up. Your stepdad's Timothy Chalamet. Your dad is Travis Scott. Your mom's Kylie Jenner. And at any point at all, you can look up exactly who she has been rumored to be dating. Or he has been rumored to be dating. Or
being
anyone.
the child of a celebrity is like wacky. Especially like a celebrity like Kylie Jenner, where it's like being a celebrity is her job rather than her being a celebrity because of her job.
And then like the kid's also just going to get shit because...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what gender the kid is, but did she have a girl?
I don't know.
What's her kid's name?
I don't know. All I know is that they also give them just like... I don't think all of the names are bad.
They're just kind of like,
some of them are just like, what are you doing?
Is it like Angel or something? I want to figure this out now. Kylie Jenner lip challenge? No, thank you.
Did you ever do that?
I have, I do it in my free time, but it's not like something I did for the internet. It doesn't even have her kid listed in the Wikipedia.
She probably got her agents to remove it.
Show me a child. She's got 2 children?
Jeez.
She's like 2 years older than us. I guess that's a 26-year-old woman then. Wow.
Yeah.
Travis Scott's your dad?
Dude, imagine reading headlines about how
Like
your
the
dad had a
Astroworld
concert and people died and got trampled because of your father's incompetence.
I'm kind of going through that right now with my dad.
What were you realizing,
in
that
the
he
news.
tramples people?
No,
Sorry,
it's
I shouldn't say Travis Scott tramples people.
well, he's going through a pretty rough divorce, and he just started to have to look at like house prices, and he's realized that it's like pretty expensive in Canada. He's the prime minister, and he's.
Are you saying your dad is Justin Trudeau?
I want to keep it on the down low.
Okay,
But yes.
how's he doing with that?
It's rough. She's a real nut cruncher. She wants a lot of his money. And she probably deserves it too, honestly. Like, he's kind of a fucking scumbag piece of shit. But what am I going to do? That's my pops.
Dude, I saw a sticker on like a free newspaper dispenser today that had the kid from like the what was it, Mad magazine?
Yeah.
That kid, and he was beside Justin Trudeau, and he was wearing an "I'm with stupid" shirt, and I was like, who's making that sticker? Who's making it? Who's getting it? And who's putting it somewhere and being like, dude, this is funny. This is getting them. Like, this is like good shit. I don't know. Just baffling.
Adam, what's that sticking out of your pocket?
That's my...
Oh my God. It's the sticker. Adam, did you put the sticker on there?
I don't like that.
Adam, what's your problem, man? I don't like him either, but you're putting stickers on stuff? That's a big commitment.
Dude, I have a coworker who just complains about Justin Trudeau all the time. And I'm just like, all right.
But also, I'm kind of like, me too. Well, let's get someone else better in there.
But he's being like...
He's doing like the dumb shit.
Yeah. And he's being like, he's a piece of shit who's like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, I don't like him either. But like, he was complaining about how he reacted to the trucker convoy. So I was like, I mean, I don't agree with a lot of things that he's said or done, but I think he did an okay job there.
Literally domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
But, dude, imagine thinking that the biggest problem we have in the world right now is genders.
Dude, it is insane to me.
People can't live in houses and buy food.
But dude, that's we're getting into conspiracy shit. But like, that's literally the strategy, is to be like, hey, let's try and make all of the lower and middle class people argue about something to distract them from the fact that we're just like completely fucking them in this other area.
Which tie it back in. Chinese propaganda, this movie.
There you go.
What do you think Adam Driver should play?
At his current age, at Adam Driver's current age?
Maybe, like, have you seen him in Ferrari?
The bleach blonde white kid.
Let me pull up a picture of him in Ferrari.
Okay.
Because he looks good.
I want fully sized Adam Driver. Like Last Jedi Adam Driver, to just walk up to little Jaden Smith.
Why the fuck, when I type in Ferrari, does it bring up the car?
Is Hugh Jackman in Ferrari?
No, that's Patrick Dempsey from Grey's Anatomy. Look at that skin tight.
That's a tight wig, dude.
Skin tight wig. Hairline pushed back.
Dude, that doesn't even look like Adam Driver.
Well, yeah, because he's playing an Italian. You know how he loves to do that. We got to cover this when it comes out.
Okay.
I think it comes out at the end of the year.
Comes.
There he is. There's,
Sorry, didn't
there's
mean
the
to
real
do it.
man.
Didn't mean to do
He
it.
hides it for everyone else, but this is the real man.
You know what movie?
Oh no, Hugh Jackman isn't it?
You know what movie we got to do on this podcast?
Maybe.
Real Steel.
Shut the fuck up. I'll beat your fuck.
That's a movie that's got Hugh Jackman in it.
I'll beat your stinky. It's a Michael Mann movie. You know, Heat? I made you watch Heat.
You did make me watch it. You almost made me
director.
watch it twice.
I'll make you watch it a fucking third time if you're not careful.
Question: how are you going to make me watch it a third time but not a second time?
You've already watched it a second time.
What did you put it on in my sleep?
You're in a K-hole. Where's this fucking list? I want to go to bed.
Dude, I can just pull the list up on my phone.
Yeah, but your phone's dirty and it smells like something bad.
Okay, so where are you
happened
putting
to
this
it.
movie, Caldy?
Where's the original one? We put the original one 18. It definitely has to go below.
It has to go below the original?
Yes.
I was thinking it goes above Shiva Baby. I'm joking. I'm joking. You briefly looked dismayed.
I fucking shit myself. Adam, I've got poopy in my dookies.
I got number Tukey what was it? Dookie number Tukey?
I don't know, man.
You said so in a previous episode. You said Dookie.
I've been up for like 20 hours at this point. I'm not thinking straight.
I don't know, man. Here's my thoughts. There's so many movies here I want to put this below. But like there's a part of me that's like I kind of want to put it not really low, you know? Cuz here's the thing, I'm looking at Isle of Dogs, Alita. I like those better than this movie. Let's go down a bit. Turning Red, Apollo 13. I like those better than this movie. I'm thinking it's going in the Batman, Willy Wonka, Monty Python.
I think it's...
Actually, can I be honest? I think it goes right above Monty Python, right below Willy Wonky.
I think it's a little worse than that.
Okay.
I think.
What do you think of above Wedding?
I think around Wedding Crashers, Weird, Wet, Hot. We've got a lot of W's in a row there.
Yeah.
I
Break
think
'em up.
that's probably where it should go.
Here, let's explore a little bit. Do you like this better than That Awkward Moment? Because I do.
I don't. Because that awkward moment ends sooner.
Barely, man. That movie's not that short.
It's like an hour 40.
Is it really?
I think so.
I thought it was like 2 hours.
I think you just didn't want it to end.
I did.
What are we at? What do we got here? Hey, what the fuck? It's an hour 34.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But I like this movie better than That Awkward Moment because I do like some of the training and some of the fighting. We didn't even talk about like the shadow puppet show, which I thought was interesting.
That was good. There's like 3 or 4 good shots and scenes in the movie.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think there's that many in That Awkward Moment.
Yeah, but That Awkward Moment ends 50 minutes before this movie does.
It robs you of less time.
Yes. You can watch That Awkward Moment and still have a day.
But do you like this movie better or worse than Weird, the Ali Yankovic story?
I like that more, honestly. I like Weird more.
I'm honestly starting to think maybe the same. But here's the thing. I just like feel weird because I do kind of enjoy this movie, but man, did it ever drag for more than I remembered.
The good things, for me, Jaden Smith.
Jackie Chan, I think, is good, even though he's underused.
But the action's bad.
Shot bad.
Yeah. So there's Jaden Smith, there's Jackie Chan. I guess Taraji P. Henson, but she doesn't really have a character.
I also just
There's like
I think the main bully kid is pretty good.
That main bully kid, there's like 4 good shots. Like the thing with the shadows after the car thing, I think that's pretty nice looking, but
it's
I
like a good set
don't
piece.
care. I think the kiss thing is nice. I think the mountain climb is nice.
The mountain climb is nice. I think the transition from like his apology to Mei Ying's parents and then
to the tournament,
rock
I think
and roll,
that's
kick the bell into the trophy tournament thing.
But
like
that's
good.
like so scattered
and
between
specific.
these. Like,
It feels like they
and the
drag
shots are
you on for 20 minutes and then they give you a quick thing where you're like, oh, okay, I'll keep
The shots
watching.
are
And then
like
they drag you again.
2 seconds long each.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So it's just like not a pleasant experience, I guess, unless
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh, but one big positive that you're forgetting. Jaden Smith uses mind control on a human being because he saw one lady use it on a little snake.
and he did drink a lot of that water though.
He did dunk his head in the lucky water.
Yeah, that's true. Well, no, it wasn't lucky water. It gives you the power of power of chi. Sorry.
Well, no, because he said drink. He said drink water, like he said something about it bringing good luck.
Maybe he did. I thought it gave him the power of chi. I'm not sure if I feel like I might have just made that up.
Do you want to put it above that awkward moment, below Weird the Al Yankovic story? Are we really doing that to poor little Jaden Smith? Here's the thing. Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Going
He'll
into the
still come on
movie,
the
I was
show.
fully anticipating putting this high,
I kind of was too.
and then I
remembered
watched it
it
and I was
being-
like, "This shit's."
It's one of those movies where like you think about it and you're like, you think about the good parts,
Mm-hmm. Well, I just
and
think
you
about
even
Jaden Smith.
embellish the good parts.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's not that bad. Like I pretty much every movie I watched as a kid, I've done that with.
Yeah.
I think that's the place for it. I think above that awkward moment, even though I might on a different day argue more that awkward moment is better because it's shorter, literally just like a numbers.
But Weird the Al Yankovic story
I like
was
it more.
shorter, funnier, quirkier.
And at some points, like, well, actually, at a lot of points, just more interesting too.
Yeah. It had a higher concept because it was being funny while also like pretending to be real, I guess. We don't have to talk about Weird the Al Yankovic story, but like, yeah,
I think that's the place.
I'm
for
fine
it.
with putting it there. I do want to say that I am like supremely bummed because I was I was even going in being like, dude, this might go above the original. Like I thought that, and even for a very brief bit watching the movie, I was like, I think this might go above the original, but it just doesn't really have the same heart. It's just so slow. There's a lot of things like the addressing racism and the Chinese funding of the movie. There's just like some weird undertones. But yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah.
I guess that. So the Karate Kid 2010 starring Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, sitting at 33 on the list right now, below Weird the Al Yankovic story and that above that awkward moment. That's
Yeah.
the first movie that hasn't been part of like a bad month that has gone low in a while. I guess aside from The Wedding Planner, which was somewhat recently. But like,
yeah.
like we did Hardcore Henry early. We did 65 like pretty early.
We did that in the Adam Driver month, which was not March, April.
I think it was right after the 6 month mark. So it would be month 7.
Okay.
And then Space Jam and Cats were both like we meant for them to be bad.
Yeah.
But like Karate Kid going lower there. Not many movies have gone below Weird the Al Yankovic story.
That's
in
true.
A while. So
Yeah.
this has been a long one.
Yeah.
If you fought through this with us, thank you. We love you. We appreciate you, and we
Give
hope
me
you
your
had a good
opinion.
time.
Tweet at me your opinion on what Jedi they should have named.
Oh, I've got to tell you something.
Okay.
So we uploaded the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory episode.
Yes, sir.
And I was texting my brother during the day about some NBA rule change, and we were talking about it.
You told me this.
What?
That they called you a scumbag?
Oh, yeah. When did I tell you this?
We talked like 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because we were on a call with Matt DeVries.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll just tell it for the pod. My brother texted me, calling me he said, I knew you were scumbag from the moment you were born. And I didn't reply to it because I was like, I don't know what he's saying. And then I went home from work. So like 30, 40 minutes later. And then I get a text from friend Matt saying,
I've known you were a scumbag from the moment you were born. I was like, what is going on? I was like, why are these two talking and like working together to trick me? But then I was like, is Matt, like friend Matt, hacking into my phone and seeing my phone screen and somehow saw my brother's message and thought it would be anyway, I kind of just lost my mind a little bit. And then I realized, oh, Calder definitely said something in the pod. Listened to it the next day. And right at the end, you do say to message me and say that. And then I react to it. But I guess I just did not retain that information from that episode. So
we were in a K-hole.
Dude, you're like Yoda and I'm like a Jedi.
Dude, don't get me started.
On what? Don't get
I'm
me
gonna
started.
tear that guy apart.
Okay. All right.
I picked my keepers for fantasy basketball.
Oh, nice. I picked my keepers, but I said not to lock them in yet because I'm still debating
Who'd
the
you
third one.
pick?
I picked Giannis with my first pick, and then Aaron Gordon with my 9th, and Bradley Beal with my 8th. Because Bradley Beal I got on a good deal because someone dropped him, but I kept him last year with my 9th, so now he's worth an 8th. And then Aaron Gordon I drafted last year at 9th round, and he was like pretty darn good. So
I kept Luka, De'Aaron Fox, and Devin Vassell.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna keep Giddy.
I couldn't.
Oh,
math didn't work out.
Bummer.
Yeah, I wish.
I think there's going to be some good players in our draft.
I hope so.
There's a couple that I'm really hoping are there when I'm able to
pick. You heard it here first. If I don't get Victor Wembanyama, I'm going to quit and I'm going to cry and I'm going to try and burn people's houses down. We'll see.
We'll see. I don't want to tell you who I'm going for because I am scared someone's going to take him.
Amen Thompson.
We'll see. I do want Grady Dick on my team just so I can make my team name something Dick related.
You can do that either way, my man.
I guess so.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, huge peniso. Giannis the penis. Giant penis. Giant penis. I don't know, something like that. There's something in there.
Dude, here's the thing. I like a part of me's like, yeah, Giannis is the best player on my team. I should make my fantasy team name about him. But like all the ones that I look up or think about are like the freaks and Greeks, or like the Greeks. It's all about like Greek because it's much easier to make a pun with Greek than it is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
What's his middle name? Maybe that'll unlock the key.
I was about to go Thanasis. His brother's
all right,
name.
we gotta fuck on this.
All right, next episode is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp.
Let's go.
And then
next,
next,
not the Johnny Depp, but the movie. I like the movie.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that clarification. And then after that, we're gonna have horror month, so look forward to that if you're a horror person.
Oh, I hope you don't get scared and how you don't do your way to bed and have your mom take you to bed.